Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the BCV channel. I am your host, Pastor SaikoWoods. Please do the following. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell at the bottom of the video. That way, whenever I go live or post any content or information, you'll be one of the first to view it. Also, if you'd like to support this ministry financially, first and foremost, thank you. Those of you who have been so gracious and faithful in supporting the BCV channel and Love, Life, and Marriage with the Woods. We thank you so much for that. But if you'd like to support the ministry, you can click the donation links below at the bottom of the video. We encourage those of you who support this ministry financially. If you're using Super Chat, unless you're in Canada, shout out to my sister Lynn Montine. But if you could use the donation links below, it helps us to receive the gifts and the funds that you support us with in a more timely fashion versus it being sent through Super Chat, which takes about a month or so for it to reach us as content creators. And so we do appreciate that nonetheless. But if you'd like to be a body lifer are individuals or a person who would like to support the ministry and make this ministry part of their regular contributions and giving. And so there's no obligation for that. You can just click the donation links below, Zelle, Venmo, or Cash App, and you can support the ministry that way. Also, if you'd like to support the ministry through the BCV merchandise, our BCV store is up and running. And so you can purchase hats and hoodies and shirts and other items as well at your leisure. So you can go to the BCV store. The link is below, and we'll have it tickered across the screen near the end of this video. Moderators, thank you for joining. Thank you for holding it down. Good to see everyone. Facebook family, good to see you as well, too. Sister Tiffany, welcome over here on Facebook family. Brother Bobby, what's going on, bro? What's happening, man? Raymond Dale, Tamika Ward, Richard Mariquin, good to see you all. Hit that like button over there on the Facebook side. Let people know where y'all at, and share it also on your page. Quite a few people over in the YouTube family, but let's just go through a few. Brother David, good to see you, my brother. Of course, the missus is always here and present and accounted for. Let's see who else. Brother Daniel, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. XX20 is back. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Brother Freddie, what's happening, bro? Yeah, hey, listen. Pray for the missus, man. Pray for her. This kind only comes out by fasting and prayer. Oh, man. But yeah, let's see. Who else we have here? Just going through the list real quick. Okay, see Brother Rudy. Okay, see Rudy here. Let's see who else. Going through the list here. Sister Hillary, good to see you, ma'am. Sister Leah, good to see you. She says, hello from Tulsa. Good to see Nyla on the show. Yeah, she's trying to become a regular, y'all. She need to get her own channel. That's what I think. Let's see. What's going on, Brother Raymond? Miss Bobby, good to see you. There's your auntie right there. Hopefully she sees her in the green room. Sister Michelle. Here she is. I think Brother David I mentioned maybe. Testament. Yeah, Bobby Dean, what's good, bro? What's good? I know, huh? You said the YouTube lives are always better than Facebook Live. Yeah. Y'all need to come on over, man. Y'all need to go ahead and transition over to the these YouTube streets. Brother Steve, good to see you, man. All right. So again, just wanted to acknowledge a few people and thank you all for joining. Again, let's hit the like button. We have so far 45 here right now watching. 19 likes. Let's get the likes up if you don't mind. We really appreciate it. Gets the algorithm going and helps us to be more recognized and help us to get the content out as well too. We got 3 thumbs down. People don't even like the video. We haven't even said anything yet. Ain't that something? It's probably because of me. I think that's what it is. It doesn't matter what I say. I can say Jesus saves, and Jesus loves you. I probably will still get a thumbs down. But it's all good, though. It is all to the good. So let me just do one more thing. Make sure that people know that we are here. Just want to get this together here. All right. So I think should be good to go. All right. So anyway, thank you, those of you who are joining. As you see on the thumbnail, I have another special guest, very, very, very special guest. She's waiting in the green room, as you saw the thumbnail. We're going to have a good conversation. Good conversation. It is unscripted. I don't know what the answers are going to be. I pray that the answers will be something that I would like, but we'll find out. We'll find out. We'll see if she's going to if she's going to represent well. I mean, she wanted to be here. I didn't force her. I did not force my child to be here. She is here of her own free will. She's here. No one put a gun to her head. Nobody threatened to take her new car and hold it ransom until she finishes the live or nothing. So, without any further ado, I want to bring in my wife's twin. Y'all know her as Snoopy Nose. Y'all know her as the one who was famous for saving that video from the what was it, the 4 black guys? I think it was the 4, or I think it was the 4 black guys, or maybe it was the 5. I don't know. But anyway, she was the one that saved the day, and so she's known here in these social media streets for holding it down for us. And so she's one of our 6 children. Love her to death. Appreciate her. Thank God for her, as well as our other children as well too. And all of our children have their own lanes and their own way of communicating. And this one here, you're about to find out in just a moment. But without any further ado, I introduce to some and refamiliarize to others Miss Nyla Carrie Woods, aka Snoopy Nose. There she is, right there. Hey! I'm gonna give you a little applause. Hold on, let me do this. Let me give you that right there. Here you go. There she is. All right. How you doing, ma'am? Good. All right. Good to see you. Even though I just saw you just for dinner a minute ago. Yeah, but everybody's here. People are greeting you in the chat. I'm not sure if you can see it on your end. But so we're gonna have a good conversation. Yes. Okay, I guess we'll find out. All right, then, no problem. All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. So we're gonna get it started right quick, and so let people know who you are. Of course, they know your last name, but tell the audience there's some people who may not know about you. So tell the viewers and hopefully your friends are watching. Did you tell your friends you're about to be famous? See, if you was on, I bet you was anyway, what's that Harlow boy name? Anyway, we'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about that later, y'all. We're going to definitely get in about that one in a minute. But
I told them. I shared it on my story. Both of them.
Okay.
And then I said, I shared it to like 4 other of my friends. So.
All right. Well, let the audience, let the people know, the viewers know a little bit about yourself, and we'll get this conversation going. Go ahead.
Like what?
She does that as well too, y'all. Very annoying when she does that. Like what? I mean, that's her little trademark. Her and her mother do that a lot. But anyway, take 2. Action. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm y'all's daughter. I'm 19. I'm single.
Upon review,
I have a job. I have trying to count all my siblings. I have 5 siblings. I go to school. I'm going to Lone Star right now. First year there. Not that bad, but yeah. That's it.
All right. So so Mr. Daniel, he said, remember, no boys. Exactly. We told her that too. Stay focused.
Yeah, of course, no boys. I want a man. That's it.
But you don't need a man right now. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. You don't need a man right now. You don't need a man. Nope, not yet.
I said I need one.
And that's one of the questions I'm going to ask her as well too. Oh, brother, you already know I got it. I'm look, pistol grip and all that, bro. Pistol grip and all. They know what's up. So, Liberated Truth wanted to know, what are you studying?
I'm studying nursing right now, but right now I'm doing my basics. So after my 2 years are done at Lone Star, then I will transfer to whatever college I desire, and then yeah.
All right. So let's start a little bit. Let's get a little bit of some basic, questions and things. Matter of fact, okay, and yeah, y'all keep the questions coming as well too. So he asked, "What are your hobbies besides being nosy?" I told her she needs to
Um,
listen. I told her she needs to be a private investigator, y'all. This girl loves to be in people's business. I mean, she'll find stuff that we don't even know anything about. But anyway, I told her that she don't want to get that money, but hopefully she'll change her mind. That'd be another hustle for her. But anyway, yeah. What are your hobbies?
Online shopping. If I'm not at work, I'm at school. I don't really do like much. I'll read, every once in a while, something I want to read, of course. And I'll be on my phone a lot. Be on TikTok, of course. Let's see. I'll hang out with my friends if I'm free. If I'm not free, then I'm at work going
All right.
overtime.
All right. So, let people know a bit about you're a Christian. You save.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let you tell the audience, tell the people how you became a Christian, ma'am.
Myra forced it on me.
Oh, so Myra was the one that scared the hell out of you.
Well, I remember we were at the old house. I was 7 years old. So, by the way, I've been saved for, let me do the math. Was that 12 years? 12,
Okay.
almost 13. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember we were sitting at the old house, and Myra was like, "Okay, it's time to get Nyla saved." I was like, "Wait, what?" And then you were saying how it's not about us forcing it on Nyla; she has to want it for herself. And then, what else was it? I remember you were asking me like all these questions. You're like, "What do you know so far? Like, what do you believe? Like, do you believe that Jesus died on the cross for your sins? Have you repented? All that." And of course, like in my 7-year-old mind, I was just like, of course, yes. Because at the time I was already like crying. Because I was like, okay, this is serious. And then I remember like you were holding me and you were like rocking me and we were praying over each other and stuff. And then that's when it happened. So,
wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, let me do y'all remember this? This is off topic, but it's kind of since we talking about how you became a Christian. Remember what happened when Kaylee Bear, we call her Kaylee Bear, but her name is Kaylin. How she got saved? You remember that?
I think it was on Resurrection Sunday. I think we were like watching something in the game room.
Was it 2020? And we had the lockdown during COVID, wasn't it? We was upstairs. I know that.
So yeah, we were still watching church online. So yeah,
Yep.
I was
Yep.
during
Yep.
COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we were watching. You played a video or something about like what Resurrection Sunday like means.
Yeah.
And I remember we were asking Kaylin like, "Do you want to be a Christian?" And like we were like asking the same question, like, "Do you know what it means?" And she was like, "Of course." And she was just, when she was praying, I could hear like the sincerity in her heart. Like she was like, she knew that she was in sin and like how Jesus died on the cross for her and how she wanted to be his child. And then we were all crying with her. So yeah.
Man, I'm kind of getting teary eyed now because I remember one of the words that she said. I mean, we was snotting and everything too, boy. It was I remember it was something because of course always upstairs in our room. Your mother sits on the right. She was sitting in the middle, and I was sitting on my side on the left, and then you and Myra would be on the other side of the room, and Madeline would be across from you guys. So we were kind of like being in a U shape. But anyway, so I remember when she had prayed, because this is what we didn't do. We didn't tell her to repeat after me, and this teaches on. It's based on sincerity, one's heart, of course. But we just told her to talk to the Lord herself, and what she said was, of course, she said, Lord, I know I'm a sinner, and I know that your son Jesus died on the cross for my sins, and Lord, I want to be saved. And I think she said either if you wouldn't mind, or if you wouldn't mind showing me. I mean, I just broke when she said that, man. It was. I mean, I said, "Oh Lord!" I mean, I was gone. I mean, it was like the whole family was just crying, man. And so, but yeah, so it was a wonderful experience. And so, but yeah, so let me ask you this. So you have 4 sisters. I mean, well, 3 sisters. It's 4 of you all.
Mm-hmm.
The personalities. How do you all work with each other? In your personality. Matter of fact, do you think y'all's personalities are different? What is it about the Woods sisters that makes y'all unique and somewhat kooky?
Myra Myra is crazy. like I say she's crazy. It's like she's tough, but it's also how do I put it? She's tough, but she also knows when to be like soft, which is rare. And you'll catch her. It's rare if you'll ever catch her crying or upset unless something really bad happened. Um, but she's my big sister, so like I know she's always gonna be down for me and stuff. Malin, she's clumsy. She's
Oh my
clumsy.
gosh.
She will. It's like even if you're like in a bad mood, or she'll know that she like pisses me off or whatever. She'll say like or say something or make like a facial expression or whatever, and she'll just make me smile, even though I don't want
Yeah.
to admit that to her. That's just what she
Didn't
does.
she do a video in your room or
Yes,
something?
she did, and she's weird.
Do you
She
have
was
it?
in. Yes, I have it.
Can you show
We're
it on the
not
screen?
sharing
No.
that. No.
Okay, so
But
so
she
who?
was
Go
weird.
ahead. Go ahead.
She was weird, and like Kaylin, Kaylin's a mix. So like she's Malin and Myra like combined, but
Okay.
she's what is it? She's more so like mom though when it comes to the gentle side. Kaylin, she does not do not mistake her for being someone she can be like messed around with. She is not the one to play with at all. I'm saying this from experience because she bit me one time and she was old enough to know what she did. But
Oh wow.
yeah,
I didn't know about
because
that.
I don't remember what I did to her, but I remember I told her. I think I told on her something like because she was supposed to be drinking something. I told mom, and next thing I know, she comes to my room and she just like bites me, and I'm like, okay. So
Did she bite you hard, or did she like just gnawing you?
no, she bit me. She bit me.
Well,
It
how
was
long ago
weird.
was this? Because I don't remember that. She would have got
She
a
was
whipping.
7.
She didn't
When
get a
she
whipping.
was 7, I don't remember. I think she did, but I think that's the time that she bit Madeline because she was a biter,
Oh
but
my
she did a lot
gosh.
of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you also say that she has dark humor. What do y'all mean by that? Dark humor.
I remember one time me and Madeline we made her upset, and she said it like in a spooky voice. She was like, "And I hope your sleep demon comes and paralyzes you." I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Where are
Okay.
you
Yeah.
getting this from?
And then she said something. I think y'all said something about this last year, and I still remember it. But I wasn't here. I think one of y'all was asking about somebody. She said somebody asked her who ate something that belonged to one of y'all, or something to that effect. And she said, I think she said I did or something like that. And then I forgot how it went, but she said she admitted that she ate it, and she said if you want it back, it'll be give her about 20 minutes or something to that effect. I was like, man, y'all.
And then I think she said one about a green card.
I don't know if I want to even repeat that. What did she say about the green card? I mean, her humor is like it's unexpected, and it's just like, man, okay. I just shake my head sometimes because it'll just come out of nowhere. I mean, just out of nowhere. So, but everybody has different personalities, and that's the thing that I don't think there's ever a day that somebody's not laughing unless there's a tragedy or a death or something sad, something like that. But how would you rate your home as far as peace and safety or tranquility? I mean, is it a place that you enjoy looking forward coming home to? Because of course there are people your age that don't have that. So I mean, when you think about that, or have you thought about that? When you're driving, in your new car. We'll talk about it in a minute. What things come through your mind? I mean, when you're heading home from work or coming from from an event or hanging with friends or something like that. What goes through your mind when you're heading home? What do you think about as far as home? What is home to you?
My bed.
Yeah, the one behind you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, when I thought of home, I thought of Apollo's. And then seeing Malin and Kaylin, because like they would always like greet me or whatever after I came home, especially if it was like late. And then like you and mom, of course, if y'all
Oh,
weren't like sleepy or whatever, I would just like tiptoe in y'all's room just see what y'all were doing. So it's the little things.
you would knock, right?
I think so.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I remember like sometimes I would knock, and I have like this rule, but y'all don't like it when I do this. If someone just went in your room and they'll close the door, if it's like 5-10 seconds, I'll open the door right back. I'm not gonna knock in 5 to 10 seconds because you're not doing anything.
Wow.
So
Okay. Y'all hear that, right? This is
yes,
somebody
I know.
said
I'm
be
gonna be careful
careful.
without knocking. Yes, I know. I'm gonna be careful without knocking. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, but okay, so home, you know, the peace and things of that nature. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what is it like being a preacher's kid? I know y'all don't really care for it, but just for the record, what is it like? I mean, what's y'all's experience? You know, what are some of the burdens and the weights and responsibilities that goes with that?
Are adults on this channel?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The number one stereotype that I always get is that preachers' daughters are the worst ones or they're the freakiest ones. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, what are y'all talking about? Because like they'll say it to me at work, and I'm like, no, I'm not like that. And so because they'll be surprised by because like they'll talk about like relationships or dating, whatever, and they're like, you never dated anyone? I'm like, nope. They're like, for real? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, so what are you supposed to be doing like when you get married and stuff? I'm like, wait. They're like, nah, that's not gonna happen. I'm like, it is. And then when I found out I'm Preacher's Kid, they're like, oh, yeah, y'all are gonna be like the worst ones. I'm like, no, we're not. We're not all like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
was raised right. So it wasn't like not bad like how it was when we were like younger. I didn't really pay much attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I just knew that there was a certain what is the word? A certain way we were supposed to like carry ourselves.
Expectation.
Yeah, there was like
Mm-hmm.
expectation. Now it's like me and Myra are older, particularly me and Myra. Um, always got to be careful about what we post, what we like, how we dress, stuff like that. Even though that was always in the back of my mind before, but it's like now it's um, what is the word? It starts with an M, Daddy. What is it?
Modesty.
No, it's now like it's magnified.
Oh,
It's
okay, okay,
magnified
okay.
when as the older we get. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
it's more of a not struggle, I would say, but it's more so I have to keep that in my mind of like who I represent
Mm.
and that there are always people watching me and yeah.
Yeah, and most importantly, God is watching. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um, what about? Let's talk about your last time you came on. You know, when we didn't have good connection, but the last time you came on, we were trying to discuss and talk about your experience with Chick-fil-A. You
Mm-hmm.
know, how has that been since you decided to quit? You were not fired. You
Mm-hmm.
decided to resign, but now you work for Best Buy.
Yeah.
So, which one is best? Which one best? Which one do you like the most? I mean, you know, both were experiences for you, of course, but you know, what are some things that you liked about both you know, job experiences, and which one do you like now and why?
When it comes to friendships or whatever, Chick-fil-A has that one beat more so because I still have friends that I got out of the job that I had and still talk to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they were my age. Well, some of them were. At the time, they were my age. Best Buy, it's more so like an adult setting, so I can look the part and be the part
Mm.
at the same time. So, because when people, especially like customers, will ask me like, "How old are you?" and they'll be shocked when they find out, "Oh, you're 19. You don't look 19." I'm like, if I was in a Chick-fil-A uniform, y'all would never have said that because it's like I think it's like the dynamic and like the way your job is presented that makes it seem like okay, this is for kids, this is for adults.
Mm.
But if I really had to choose, I would say Best Buy is the best job I've had
So
so
far,
far.
huh? Yeah. um, and so you basically, so you had that. How long you been working at Best Buy?
Uh, since like 2 weeks ago, I think I hit 5 months.
Wow, 5 months. Okay. Um, and basically you have perks, things like that. You
Hmm.
enjoy the perks. You got your new business card too, didn't you?
Yeah, like that came in the mail yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay, good, good. All right. So you now you had your first vehicle that was a Nissan Sentra, correct? Was that a
Hmm.
Sentra?
Yes.
Yeah, Nissan Sentra. And you had you matter of fact you purchased that with your own money, didn't you?
Hmm.
Worked hard for it, saved up for an entire year in some weeks because
Yeah.
you had a goal. You had a goal. And I guess how did it feel getting being able to buy your first vehicle? I mean, to save up for it. Is it different being able to buy a vehicle that you know that you worked hard for versus someone just giving it to you as a gift?
Yeah, but like the first two, it was different because like the first one, it was good, but it was also like a bittersweet because at the time I wasn't like I was happy that I was getting my car, but at the same time I was kind of like sad because that's when the whole school thing had happened. So I was kind of like, how
Mm-hmm.
am I supposed to be happy about this? And this part of my life is like a mess. Um, and it was also because it was good for me because yeah, mom was the co-signer, so in that sense it was, I kind of felt like yeah, I did it by myself, but it was also like she had to be there just to like help me
Right.
because the time I had to get my first car and I didn't have credit, stuff like that.
Right.
Second time I got my new car, I did that one all on my own, like my name's on the papers, like I signed everything, so it's like my name's the only one that's on that paper, so it means I'm now in charge of it.
Yeah.
So that one feels a little bit different because one, it's brand new. It's not like pre-owned, and I've been the only one that drove it. So
And how does that feel? Just being able to go into a dealership. I mean, you and like I said, we're not gonna go through the figures because ain't nobody's business. But nonetheless, you saved up quite a piece of change,
yeah.
and that's one of the things I would just publicly say I'm proud of you for is because you had a goal,
Hmm.
you met that goal, and
Yeah.
you're still crushing and still meeting goals and exceeding it by God's grace. And so, the first time you got the car, I mean, you were happy about the car that you had, but you were just having issues with. So tell the audience a little bit, what were the issues that you had with the car that
Hmm.
made them basically take it back and give you your money back?
Okay. Thank you, Miss Natasha. Um, what was it? So I sent that car back 4 times. 4 times. Now I went to CarMax. Mom was the one who picked out the car. I was when all this time I was because I said I'm tired of looking for one. Obviously, because she was always finding something out of the cars that I picked, something that was wrong with it. And I'm like, okay. So I said, Mom, go ahead, just pick the car, just show me a picture of it, you test drive it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at work at the time. I'm at work at Chick-fil-A, and um, she sends me a picture of the car. I'm like, okay, it's not ugly. I said, you test drive it. She's like,
Mm.
yeah, I drove it. And I was like, okay, how was it? She said, it was nice. I said, okay, take pictures of it. I want to see the inside. And I was like, what year is it? She said
Mm-hmm.
2016. I was like, okay. Because I said, if we got a used car, I said, I want it between 2018 to now. At the time, it's 2022. I said, okay. And I was like, okay, you know what, 2016, it had low miles on it, but it was also like low miles. It's a 2016 car. Something has to be wrong with it. She said she test drove it. It was fine. I was like, okay, perfect. So she said the following week we can go pick the car up. I picked the car up. I drove it home. It was fine. Didn't have any problem with it. Um, Me and Myra took it on 99 and she drove it. And I heard a noise on the side of the window. And I was like, what is that? I was like, I don't know, maybe it's just like the wind or something. And I kept hearing it. And I was like, what is that noise? And it's like this loud whistle and it would not shut up. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I told mom, and I told you, because I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. Me and Myra heard it. Alan and Kaylin heard it. Y'all are going to hear this noise. And that wasn't even the only thing that was wrong with it. At the time, that was the remaining problem But like when we first got the car, the front panel kept popping out. I keep pushing it back in. That was the first thing. Second thing was the air conditioning was off. Third was the window, nor the side of the window. I don't know. And then I think the fourth one was my, what is it? My RP. What is that thing called? That
RPM.
Yeah, that was moving too fast for the car, and I wasn't even like speeding or anything like that. So they had to get that fixed. They fixed those three problems, and the only one that was not remain fixed was the window or the side of the mirror or whatever. Mm-hmm. So during the time, I was still working, and I couldn't take time off to like go send the car back. So I was like, okay, we're just gonna fix it during August. I was like, okay. So sent the car back, gave me a rental. It was good rentals too that they gave me. I got like a Volkswagen. I had another Nissan. Those were good. Mm-hmm. And I was driving those for about like 2, 3. I think the longest one I had was the Volkswagen. And they said, okay, we're gonna fix it. They said the only thing that's wrong, you just need to replace the side door. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And so I didn't pay for nothing because it was all under warranty. So I was like, okay, perfect. Just do what y'all need to do. Just fix the noise. Brought the car back. Mom test drove it. It was still making the same noise. I was like, okay, I'm going to be patient with you guys here because I know you're just trying to like make sure it's all working and stuff. Sent it back a third time. I was like, okay, whatever y'all did not work. You know, when y'all replaced the window, y'all replaced the mirror, it did not work. And so they did it. What was it? The third time. They kept the car. This time they fixed the window seal or whatever, my window pane or whatever, and they removed it. They put tape on it, and they said, okay, just don't take it off until afterwards. I'm like, okay, at the time it was raining, and I was like, the tape was just flying off anyway. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna remove it. And so I remember when I got the car back, you said to just wait, but I was like, I don't want to, because I was like, I just want to figure out if it's done already. But then when I drove it home, I heard the noise, and I was like so upset. I was like, y'all have all this tape on here and stuff like that. I was like, okay, maybe it's making this noise because it used to dry or something, whatever. And then finally, when we brought the car back, the mechanics drove it, and they were like, we didn't even have to go 5 minutes out. We could already hear the noise. And we were like, we can see how annoying that noise is for you. And they're like, do y'all want to still fix it? And I was like, nope, I want my money back. And so I remember I turned the car in with Mom, got my money back, and then she was like, okay, they say you can do 2 options. You can either get your money back, and you can put it towards another car at CarMax. You can just get the whole car, get your whole money back entirely, and you'll just be like, the car never happened. And I'm like, okay, I want that. Because I was like, I'm not doing any more used cars. I want a new car. This car is going to last me up until I finish my nursing career. I want a new car. So that's what we did. And now I have my brand new Honda Civic 2023 Sport.
So yes, you do. And that was an interesting experience. And you made sure that I was there to be a part of this particular transaction. At the time I was working, I was truck driving when you had the first vehicle. And basically time was kind of like of the essence because you needed a vehicle. I was on. Your mother was, I think she was just coming back home, but your sister was also, working and needed a car, so she was using our vehicle. But the interesting thing about that was you said no. This time, Dad, you coming with me. You come with me and Mom. We're gonna go to the dealership and we're gonna look at this car. Matter of fact, you and your mother had already scoped out the car that you had wanted, and so I said, okay, well let me check it out. And so we did. We went to the dealership. We was there for how many hours? Like 3 hours?
4.
4 hours. Okay. Mm-hmm. We got there that afternoon, like around 5, a little bit after 5 o'clock.
I think it was like 4:30 or whatever. Yeah, and we didn't come home like 8:30, almost 9 o'clock.
Yes, yeah. Matter of fact, 8:25, and I know it was 8:25 because when I recorded you getting in the car and I looked at the timestamp, it said 20:25 or something like that, and okay. Yeah, so 2000 hours is 8 o'clock. But anyway, so I remember that, and I also remember when we were talking with the dealer, they were giving us figures, and I would look at it, and I looked at you. I said, "Now we've already discussed this. I said, now look, you're gonna be responsible for paying for this. It's your responsibility. I said, but as your parents, we want to make sure that you're comfortable with these, with these payments, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be your car. And so they were trying to tell us, yeah, she'll have this, she'll have this. We're like, okay, that's great, that's fine. And so we went back to the back of the room, into the to the back office, where they now had to draft the paperwork and everything up. And I remember the lady, I forgot her name, but she was a Hispanic lady. Nice, she was very nice. But then when she had slid us the contract, I said, oh no, no. And
because we were almost there. We were almost there.
And I know you was like, you was already for it, huh?
Mm-hmm. She was repeating everything back to us, and then I remember when she told me the total. She said, I think she said 527. I was like, huh? I said, no, we didn't agree to that. And I was like,
we're not paying that.
How you did this all the way in the back room, and you didn't even say that was a number that we had agreed upon.
Right. And so like, yeah. So I said no. I said that number. No, we're not paying. I said this is what we're gonna be paying. We're gonna be paying for this amount and this amount only. And so she couldn't do anything about it. So I tell you what. So they brought in the manager, black guy. Dude had on tight pants. Like, come on, dog. Come on, man. So he coming up in there. I mean, dude was nice. He was a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? But then he was like, yes, I heard that this, I heard you had talk with so-and-so, and this is not this was not the figure that y'all were looking for. I said, no, it's not. Matter of fact, I made sure you didn't say anything else. Mm-hmm. And your mother even told you, she said, nope, let daddy deal with it. Let daddy deal with it. So I sat there. I said, now, we had it in our mind. This was the amount and this was the figure that we were told that we would be able to pay for this length of time. And so the guy was like, yeah, well, I don't know if we can probably do that. I said, well, I'll tell you what, when y'all can, let us know. And I got ready. I said, y'all, let's go. And I know you was kind of like, but I said, no, let's go. I said, because I said, my daughter can't afford that. And you could have, but that ain't the point. The point was, this was the amount we want you to be comfortable paying, and that's it, period. And so they had, so the guy said, Mr. Woods, he said, I'm pretty sure if you leave, you probably won't be coming back, huh? I said, no, I probably won't. And just like that, I said, no, I won't. I said, because, we already said what we wanted to pay for. And I said that my daughter cannot afford to pay that. And neither would I, even if we could, I wouldn't let her pay that. And he said, so I'll tell you what. He said, let me crunch some other numbers together and this and that. And so I said, fine. I said, no problem. So we sat down. I sat there and waited. They came back with maybe like 30 minutes, give or take. Came back. He said, yeah, I guess we can work this one out here. This should be the amount that you are you okay with this amount? And I said, I looked at you. I said, yeah, we can. I said, you can do that. She said, yeah, we can do that. I can do that. I said, you sure? He said, yeah, I can do that. I said, all right. And so that's how we did that. Now, interestingly, because I know how these people are. Now, I'm not being a chauvinist. I'm not trying to say that women can't, negotiate nothing like that. But it's different when a man deals with another man. Mm-hmm. It just is. Ladies, when you are with your husband, or if you have daughters, and these dealers, they know how they can get over on women emotionally and all this other kind of stuff, especially young ladies and young adults like my daughter and stuff. And so I just made sure, now we're not playing them games. You're not gonna get over on us for no dang on profit. And I told him, I said, this is what we're gonna pay for. My daughter's not gonna. I said, we want this, and this. And it's different when you have the money versus you begging like a pauper and saying, please, sir, I will show love to drive your car, sir. No, forget that. No, we don't have to do that. And so we didn't. And so my daughter, she was able to drive the vehicle that she wanted. And I have a surprise for you, Nyla. I have a surprise for you. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I have a surprise for you. I want the people to see how you were in your vehicle at the dealership. Check this out.
Harlow 2.0, Mom.
Yes.
Harlow 2.0.
What?
Harlow.
I named my car after Jack Harlow.
You what?
I named my car after Jack Harlow. Since it was revoked by that lemon that they sold me, this is now Jack Harlow 2.0.
Okay. All right. You say so. No, just keep it in there.
I'm just gonna work with this, Mom. Huh? It's gonna work in it for you.
Jeez. So why you just calling it 2.0? Why you just call it Jack Harlow?
Because that's what the first one was called.
But I mean,
I can't revoke it because like this is now an upgrade.
oh, okay.
This is a car that is 7 years older than the one I had previously.
So you have a brand new car, like spanking new, like fresh new car smell. Nobody else has been in
No
your
one has
car
been in it.
but you. But Nyla. You know you ain't listening to no gospel.
Hey, it was a thing.
Right.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
What thing? It was on here.
92.1.
How do you put your serious in here?
I have to do it once I.
Oh, okay. Okay. Where's your car? It's
Oh,
over there.
back that way to your left. You got back up. See how look how clean your screen is. Use your mirrors and your screen. Remember. And this car has speed now. That it's a sports car.
Okay.
To your left.
Oh, that's dream.
Yeah.
It was sitting right over here.
Yeah, right here, Nyla.
Oh! Special car.
This is Nyla backing in her new car for the first time. Of course, she's nervous because she don't want to tear up her car. And she's doing good. Bring it to your right. There you go, straight. Come on. There you go. Come on. Straight back. Straight back. Come on. Come on. Got it. Perfect. Watch your items. Don't bump nothing. You did it, Nyla. First time. Look at her. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That drive home. How did it feel being able to drive and not hearing any? Yeah. How did that feel?
It felt nice. Now, of course, Mom's always on me because, like, I always want to put the car in sports mode when I'm driving because she thinks I'm always speeding. But
I wonder where you get that from.
what, speeding?
Yeah,
It's Mom.
exactly. Notice, ladies and
But
gentlemen.
the thing is, you were the one that taught me how to drive.
Yes, but I didn't teach you how to speed.
Mm.
Yeah. So let the record reflect and show any future tickets will be passed down from her to her mama. So see, I'm not the speeder, and they want to complain about my driving, but I'm not. I ain't trying to get no tickets. But she's the one. Her and her mother, they like this. Matter of fact, her mother, and Myra, they both speed. They both speed. They both speed. And
They both speak. They talk about me. That doesn't make any sense.
well, the three of you. How about that? Sorry, the three of you.
No, but they talk about me like I'm the worst driver, but like I'm not.
Well,
bad.
no, I'm not gonna say about the worst driver. The worst driver. When you say worst driver, yeah. When you say
Worst
worst,
driver's Mom.
now why would you say your mother's the worst driver, Nyla? Why would you say your mother's the worst driver?
She's the worst driver because literally when she was driving my car today to go to the car wash, she was all up on this truck's bumper. And then I was like, "Are you gonna stop?" And then she was like, "Nyla, I got it." I was like, "No, Mom, you don't got it because literally Daddy tells you this all the time when you don't leave space." And then when I do it, and when y'all see me turn out of the neighborhood, I don't be like all wild or nothing. It's just that's how I drive. But
What
Mom
you
is a bad
say?
driver.
So you notice your mother too on
Yes.
people's back,
Yes.
huh?
But
Do
I
you?
also noticed when we drive to church together because like anytime when she used to drive and she was in her car, me and Mark could also see it. She does not know how to stay in her lane. She's like on the edge of the white line. I'm like, you're supposed to be in the center. So, and I watch because I'm driving right behind you, so I know how you drive.
So you straight diming your mama out right now. You putting your yeah. See, people like telling
I'm
all
sorry.
Miss Sharon business. Look, hey,
I'm
confession is
love-
good for the soul.
I
Y'all,
love you,
y'all
Mom.
need to hold my wife accountable for her driving. Somebody
I'm
need to
just
hold her
saying,
accountable.
She can't park, and she cannot drive correctly.
You say she can't park or drive correctly? Now you only
No.
been driving less than a year.
Daddy, but literally, you seen how she backs up her car into the garage. I'm saying, like, she doesn't do it right.
You know she's gonna get you after this live is over with. You're gonna be on somebody's milk carton.
No, because I give her things. So.
Oh, okay. So, but okay. So now, we're talking about the driving. What are some things? I guess I'll just ask you this. Why did you call this car Jack Harlow 2.0? Oh, you said it in the video, but Jack Harlow.
Well, okay. It's not Jack Harlow. It's just Harlow 2.0.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harlow 2. Okay, so what's the Harlow 2.0?
Because that's his last name. It's
The
not
Jack-
right to call a car. It's not right to call a car Jack. Like, how often do you hear a car's name is Harlow?
Okay. I mean, I've heard of General Lee. I heard of Kit. But Harlow 2.0, that's not me. But anyway, I just wanted to know. Okay, so let's talk about life, and the things that we all have to deal with in our lives, and we've had experiences with that. How do you deal with death and disappointment? And you've had those experiences so far. One of the disappointments I know you had was with college, not being able to go to HBU.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that was a blessing in disguise later on. Am I correct, or am I mistaken that?
Yeah,
You want to talk about that a little bit, because that was, I mean, we were like, I mean, you was like, okay, look, that's why I wanted to go. We wanted you to go there too, but I guess God in His providence didn't see it that way. But in the end, it ended up working itself out. But during that time, you were at a very low place. So let's talk about that.
I mean, after I came back from my orientation from HBU, they told us the cost for like the financial situation. And in my mind, I thought the money that I received from the scholarships and grants and stuff like that, I thought it was going to be enough. Apparently, they separated in all the 4 years that I was going there. And the payments for each semester was $5,000. And I was like, okay. In my mind, I could already see how this was going, because I wasn't like letting it try to like affect me. But Mom was like, okay, there's still time to like still apply for scholarships, stuff like that. And I'm like, applying for scholarships is nice, but it's kind of like, it's an endless rabbit hole. You're always going to keep applying to them. You never know if you're going to be the person to get them, stuff like that. Ultimately, when you and Mom had told me I can't go, it was like the life was being like sucked out of me, because it was like that was my dream school, and I did all this stuff. I enrolled in my classes, I took my school ID, I went to the campus, I slept at the campus, I met cool people that I wanted to be in contact with. And all that just for me to like not go. All that was just like pulled from under me. And in my mind, I was questioning everything. I was like, God, why did you let me get this far? Just for it all to just not happen. And I remember I was talking to Kier, and he was like, you need to pick. Like, you have to pick. He was like, and Kier's my brother. He was like, you need to pick. Do you want to go to school more, or do you want your car more? I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was telling me choose school, like put my money towards school. And I was like, even if I put my money towards school, that would not even cover the first year, and I was gonna have to quit my job anyway because I was gonna be living on campus, and I can't be driving back and forth, and I didn't have a car anyway. So um all this stuff I had to keep thinking about, if I wanted to do loans or not, if I wanted to change schools, if I wanted to go to Lone Star instead. And of course Lone Star was like in the back of my mind, but when I got accepted to HBU and where I got all these scholarships rolling in, it was like, okay, Lone Star's not really gonna happen then. Okay, fine. So I remember when y'all told me I couldn't go, it was like, I wouldn't say I was. I would say it. I was depressed. Um, and I feel like everyone in the house, even Jamari and Carrie, even when they weren't in the house, they all saw it. They knew what was going on. Um, when I was still working at the time, like, and I would come home, not say anything. I would be in my room. I would leave without announcing if I was leaving. I would just say, "Okay, I'm here." I'll be short, and I'll be like short tempered. I wouldn't want to talk to anyone. I just want to keep my distance because in my mind, I was bitter towards y'all for not being able to let me go. And then I was also angry at God because I was like, what did I do? What did I do? I did all this stuff and you chose to not let me go.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the worst time in my life because I was like, how am I supposed to be happy about this car and I can't go to school? And seeing everyone and wearing the gear and just making friends and getting the actual college experience. That's what I wanted, and I didn't get that. And so I was like, and I think the thing that made me more upset is because it happened to Myra, and I didn't expect it to happen to me. So when it happened to me, and I was like, you let this happen 2 times, and I was like, what is just college? Y'all trying to like not let us go to college right now? What is it? So I'm like, I was not the type of person. I knew I was like, when I graduated, I knew I was going to be the person to continue my education anyway, because I wanted to be a nurse and I still do.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, um, okay. At that time, everything was all a mess. My mind was everywhere. I didn't want to go to Lone Star because I was not mentally prepared. And I was like, okay, August is coming up. That's when school starts. You're already on the brink of like wanting to literally destroy everything that God set up for you. And I remember during this period, that's what, like, what I don't like looking back at my like pictures and stuff because of during that time, and it's almost coming up to that period, like May, and then like June, during that whole entire time, even in August, that whole period, it was just when I had the worst possible like attitude and like towards y'all, towards God, towards everything. Because it was like God was trying to show me something and I wasn't listening. Like I was being arrogant. I was being bitter. I was being like selfish. Because in that moment, I only cared about me. Me going to school, me getting my car, me having everything I ever wanted and ever dreamed of. And I didn't care what was going to stop me. And so ultimately, when August came around, um, it was time for her to go back to school, and the frustration kept coming back because I was like, okay, now the school's starting, you're gonna see everyone like go off to the dorm room and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, you're gonna be fine. It's okay. You're gonna focus on work. You're gonna keep getting your money up. You're gonna be good. And that was the plan. It was working out great. And in that time, I was like, okay, I feel like God just wants you to use this time, take your semester off, and keep keep getting money. Like keep working, keep doing that. Focus on that, and then in spring semester, that's when we'll try again for Lone Star. So that whole entire time, that was like it was like funny, but it was also like God was trying to teach me something because I remember every time we kept going to church, there was always a sermon after another, keep talking about my very situation, and I was like, okay.
And wasn't that
And I
interesting?
remember,
Wasn't that
yeah, it
interesting
was
though?
interesting.
I mean,
It was
every week, the Lord was
interesting.
dealing with one of us in the family, particularly y'all or whatever. But yeah, go ahead.
And I remember, I think Madeline came in my room, and she was like, dang, when is this sermon gonna relate to me? And I was like, when you have something going on in your life that's very drastic and bad. And so, because I was like, you don't want a sermon to resonate with you in a bad way. I mean, it's resonating with you badly means you need to do something to change it. And I remember we had a family meeting about like what we needed to do and stuff like that. And I feel like, and I believe so. Like I feel like this is actually like what helped me during that time, like during summer. I feel like that was the pivotal moment in my life where I needed to address my mood swings, my emotions, how to control them, because I was always like that when I started being like a teenager. But I feel like during that season in my life, that's when it took a turn for the worst, and I was needing to know how to fix that and how to be better at it. Because I remember mom was telling me, and I think you were telling me this too. You're like, you're not gonna get no man. No man is gonna want to be with you if you can't control your attitude, you can't control your emotions. And I feel like, even though it's only April, I feel like in this new year, I feel like I'm getting better at like learning how to control my emotions, especially at work. Because it's
Mm-hmm.
like someone's
Mm-hmm.
always going to watch you even when you don't know that they're watching you, and like you
Yeah.
never know. So I feel like that's been something that I learned from that whole experience. Just
Yeah.
learn what to do when things don't go your way and how to control it, and just learn from it.
How did during that whole season and ordeal of disappointment, you had the sermons that were given to you, and we was going to church, and we'll talk about the church situation later in this talk. But during that season, we had a lot of I think I would say confirmations through the Word of
Mhm.
God that was being preached, and it was a rhema word. It was like a right now, your situation, what you're dealing with. I mean, my sides were being sore because your mother would be rib shotting me like, okay now,
I
all
hate when
right
she
now.
does that.
Oh
I
yeah.
hate when she when she acts like I can't hear, or me and Myra can't see her, especially when she thinks the sermon's talking about us. So I'm like, this applies to you too, ma'am. Like,
What does she do? What does she do? So y'all be hearing her in the church in church?
yes, yes, and Kaylin's head is not that big, so I can see when she's looking at you, like see if you're gonna react or something to whatever the pastor was saying. So I was like, okay, where are you going with this?
So do you remember the conversation that Miss Natasha had with you? Was that helpful?
It was. It really was, because the nursing program, I know it's hard to get into, because
Mm-hmm.
even though you get your basics done, so that you still have to take the actual test and actually enroll to get into the nursing program. I know that is a next step in of itself. And um, even though I'm only in my first year still, figuring out where I want to go still is a decision I need to make, because I don't know if I want to continue it at Lone Star 4 years doing it there, or if I want to go somewhere else and continue it. Because everyone has a good nursing program. It's just the fact of money wise, how far it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be, and if I'm willing to like make that effort to like do that. But like when I was talking to Miss Tasha, even when I went to her what was it, her seminar thing, I think it was about 1 or 2 years ago, I was in it. And
Mm-hmm.
even though I wasn't even done with high school yet, I just wanted to see what it was about. And I took screenshots that I still have them on my computer about like what the topics were going to be about.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to it, because like I've had like different career changes in my life, but when it came to like after COVID had happened and stuff like that, um it was more so like I knew that that was like my spiritual gift. I always knew like I was good to like I was good at helping people
Yeah.
and stuff. But when it was time for me to like actually decide like what I wanted to do like out of a career, I knew that like being a nurse is something that I wanted to do, because I just like helping people, and I want to be able to know that I can make a difference in like making someone else's life better. So
Wow. Okay. Someone had asked a question, and they
mhm.
wanted to know, Stevie. He said, "How did
Mhm.
you get the name Snoopy Nose?"
Oh. um Well, I didn't come up with it. I didn't like. Of course, I didn't come up with it. It was given to me by my mother. Now, I didn't know that this was a name until I asked, like, what is our Amazon password? And then that happened. And I was like, who's that? And then she was like, that's you. And I was like, no, it's not. And then apparently I get it because I'm nosy. And they think I snoop. I don't snoop. I don't have to snoop unless you tell me something. Unless you don't tell me something I want to know. All I'm asking for is just simple information, simple facts. If you don't give me the facts, then it's up to me to do it myself. No harm, no foul.
Yeah. Okay. So number one, thank God I changed the password because you just told the entire world what our Amazon password was. Thank God.
The username.
Doesn't. I'm just saying. I mean, just you see. Look. Exactly. Proverbs 17 said change it. Yeah. It's definitely it's done already. Trust me. Thank God I did. Good Lord.
It was a while ago.
Right. Anyway, so so she got the name basically because it just clicked. It just clicked. She said, "Yeah, no, yeah, Snoopy knows," and and it just fits her perfectly. All right, so we had a recent death in our family, Apollos, and during that time, well, it's only been a week, right? Been just over a week now.
Yeah.
I think that was a very hard, I think, experience for us as a family altogether. I think we're still working through it in the process, and we just received his paw print today. They told me they called me they called me Monday and told me that we were able to pick it up, and so I just waited. Told her I just waited, and I said, well, let me just go ahead and no, my mother said 2 weeks now. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yeah, the 13th. Yeah, the 13th will make 2 weeks. So he passed on the 13th. But anyway, so and I'll say this: it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. It's different. You look at certain parts of the house and stuff like that. But as a family member, you would hear people talk about losing a pet and losing a beloved animal and things like that. Until you actually experience it, it's a different thing. So how are you? How have you been able to work through it? And because maybe somebody else will be watching this video and and may need that help and that support and encouragement as well too. I know one of the things that helps me is family, is being able to be with y'all and then talk about it at times. But I think that first week, man, it was like we didn't even go. We'll talk about the church situation because we didn't have a church to go to anyway. But nonetheless, it was just hard. It was a very hard thing, a very hard time.
During that week, it was like the worst because the day it happened, I was supposed to go to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll be fine. When I was sitting next to Mom, and Myra was like in the other room.
Yeah.
With you, and all I could hear, like, it was like a moment of silence, and all I could hear was Myra let out like a big yelp because I knew that that's when it happened. So during that week, I knew, like, that day, I knew like I couldn't go to work because like I actually had to like come to terms with like the fact that he's gone. And the stuff that I used to take for granted, like him barking, him whining for no reason, I miss that now because I don't get to see him when I come home. Or like, and I feel for Kaylin because when it happened, like, all that Madeline and Kaylin remember is when they last saw him when he was in the kitchen. So it's like when I think about like Kaylin, it's kind of like that was literally like her best friend because she didn't really talk to anybody. Like because like she's homeschooled, so like literally Apollos was like everything to her. So when that happened, that's when I felt like I don't know how I'm gonna be able to like do this. I can't go to work. And And so I text my boss and I was like, I'm so sorry, like I can't come to work right now. I explained to him like what happened, and he was like, I totally understand, like take the time you need to like grieve with your family. And I took the time, and my friends were like so sweet, like they stopped by, like they checked up on me, and it was so sweet. But it was also like the next day I knew I had to go to work. And so in the morning, it's before like everyone always gets there, so like in the morning I was trying to go, and like when you're sitting in the car by yourself, your thoughts are just like in your mind all the time. And so when that happened, I was just driving to work and I was trying to like not cry, and I just kept thinking about him because it was still so like fresh in my mind. And it was, thank God it was sunny that day, because like I didn't want to walk in to see and have everyone see me crying. And so I put on my shades. I just walked in and I was like, okay, no one's gonna look at me. I'm just gonna keep my shades on and not say anything. And so, of course, everyone knew what had happened because they were like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, thank you. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying, I know I'm going to be fine when
Right.
someone asks me, like, what happened, and I can tell them the story without me crying.
Right.
And for right now, like, it still like hurts, of course, because I loved him and we only had him for like 5 years and he wasn't even gray yet.
Right.
So I was imagining still having him up until like I was 20 something, and he was going to be all gray, and I was
Yeah.
still going to come home and see him. And so it's like the fact when I come down, I couldn't even like go downstairs because his kennel wasn't there anymore. His bed wasn't there. His toys weren't there. So it's like a constant reminder that like he's not here anymore. And it comes and goes. It
Yep.
does. I just have to
Yep.
keep like, focusing on, I know he's not in pain anymore.
Right.
Um, and he was like my first pet, and I appreciated him for the time that he was here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was hard for all of us. I know, when we got home that first day, your mother had gathered all his stuff up. Then I had to disassemble the kennel, had to gather the bed, had to, take all the stuff and the toys, and it happened on a Thursday, so, trash day was Friday. So when we saw him, sorry. Uh, when we saw him, that last day, um, I knew pretty much everything was over when the truck had came and gathered all his stuff. So, I mean, this is the first time since the week that he has been
mhm.
gone that I've been okay. But it comes and goes. Uh, I was able to talk to Mr. Caesar. He was helpful.
Mhm.
He was very helpful, and he had told me, he said, "Man, uh, we had to I had to put our dog down because he was sick as well too and stuff. But it was a freak accident. Nobody in our family knew that this would have happened. I mean, matter of fact, you had got lunch for us that day, Wednesday and stuff, and then then the accident had happened. It was nerve damage. For people may have wanted to know, he suffered nerve damage, and it would have taken a lot of care for us to try to afford to keep him. We just couldn't, and so he was basically limping and couldn't walk anymore on his left hind leg. So so we made the decision as a family to go ahead and put him to sleep. And so as a family, we had to make that decision, and it was hard, but by God's grace, we've been dealing with it okay. So, but we wish I had a commercial break. This is one of the times you go to the commercial, but this is one of these real conversations, and so it happens. But let's talk about your no pun intended, but pet peeves. What are some things that you don't like? I mean, the things that either that I do, your mother does, your sisters do, your brothers. What are some
You're so stupid.
Yeah, see, look. Here she is, right here. This one here. Look, y'all. Wait. You gonna see it in the comments? Here she is. No chill at all. Yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to wrap this segment up. Y'all know how I am. See, yeah. So, anyway, yeah. So, what are some pet peeves? As a young lady, what are some things that you can't stand people do, whether in the house or outside of the house? What are some things that you basically can't stand? Now, I got some pet peeves for y'all, but what are your pet peeves? What are your pet peeves?
I'll start with like the family.
Okay.
I hate when Malin, she'll walk in my room, and it's like I know she's bored out of her mind, but if she sees I'm clearly doing something, she'll like pop her head in, like the freaking movie from like The Mask or whatever, and just be like, "What are you doing?" And hi, Kier. And he'll just be like, she'll just be like, "Are you busy?" And I'm like, "No, man, I'm just typing up something. Like, what do you want?" And she'll just be like, "Can you take me somewhere?" I hate it. That's nothing. I hate it when Malin and Kaylin, they'll ask me, "Can you take me somewhere?" And I'm like,
but at first you had a problem when you first got your car. Now, I mean, come on now.
I didn't have a problem. I always had a problem because I always wanted to conserve my gas. Now, of course, I didn't have a problem when it involved me not spending any money.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. So now you're no, ma'am. So now you're a conservative. But at first, when it was our money and on our dime, y'all were little socialists.
Daddy, I've been using my money myself for like the past year and a half.
I know. I'm just saying. But now it hits different, doesn't it?
It's always hit different.
No, it ain't always.
I'm asking for you and moms for stuff. I don't like asking out for
stuff.
No.
I'm not talking about that. I'm still saying it hits different when you have to pay for. Yeah, like case in point. Let's just talk about your older sister for a second. Let's talk about the scratch on the rim that she put on the car. Oh my gosh! I thought we was gonna have to separate them. That somebody had to move. Talk about that for a second.
I was gonna freaking kill her. She takes my car to work. And I'm in the car with her because at the time it was during like summer vacation. I have to go to work till like 11, so she had to be like at 9. I'm like, okay. She drives the car, and she has the camera. She has the backup camera. And I can see I'm on the other side, and I can see where she's going. And I'm like, "Okay, Myra, backing up," and I can see how she's lining the car up. And I'm like, "Myra, you're gonna hit the curb." She's like, "No, I'm not." I hear us. I'm like, Myra, I step out the car, and I'm like, she steps out the car. She's like, "No, I didn't even hit it." And I'm like, Myra, I just heard the tire. And so I come home, I back the car in the garage, and I look at it. And I turn the lights on. Come on, maybe that's just like some dirt. I'll like wipe it off. I can feel the metal like going against my finger.
Right, which is very dangerous.
I turn my flash on. She scratched up my rim. And I called Mom. I remember she was still at work. And I called her, and I was like, "Mom, Myra scratched up my rim." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Look at what I just sent you." And she's like, "She did that?" I'm like, "Yeah, she did that. You think I did it? Why would I frame her?" So I was like, she's going to pay for this. And so evidently she did it because the car already had enough problems as it was. So I didn't really care. But like in my mind, it is what happened, Myra. You are such a liar. It is. I was not being dramatic. It was you. Because you don't know how to back up. And you talk about me? Like, no. Anyway,
Oh
she
my
back.
gosh.
I remember that when you get your car. I remember that. I'm gonna take your car and I'm gonna just do something. I'm gonna just do a minor infraction. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Anyway, I don't like it when mom wants to take my car. I don't like that because she already has a car and she wants to take my car.
But she don't really take your car that much. I mean, where does she go?
No, I remember one time, like, it was 2 weeks after I had my car. She asked, "Can I take your car?" And I'm like, "You already got the key, so I don't know why you're asking. You're just gonna take it anyway." Like, I could tell you no. Oh, this is another thing. Brings me up to
Lord.
another thing. My mom, she will text me or she'll ask me and Myra for something, and she'll be like, "No pressure, no pressure." There is always pressure when it comes from her. Oh, you don't love me, don't do you? She manipulates me. She
Your
manipulates
mother
me.
ain't manipulating y'all. That
Yes,
your
does,
mother ain't
Daddy.
trying to manipulate y'all.
Daddy, yes, she does. Literally, she got mad at me because I didn't massage her last week, and she's like, "Do you know after everything
Do you know the
the breath
pain?
that I gave you?"
Exactly.
Like,
Do you
and I
understand?
was tired that day.
Do
I was
you
tired that day.
do you understand that your mother gave y'all life and
I
life more
understand.
abundantly? Do y'all understand
I
that? Do y'all?
understand that.
Yeah,
I'm very appreciative of that, but
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
have to
yeah,
do
yeah. She had to go through to get y'all here. You know what I'm saying? So she's a little back massage ain't was going to kill y'all to give you
Daddy, I
money.
was the easiest birth, so I was not like a hassle
Yeah,
to
you
get
were
here.
Christmas. You were a Christmas baby. Yes, you were a Christmas baby. And one of the things that was very significant about this one was that she did not cry loud. I thought something was wrong with her. I did. I mean, she did. She when she
Layla
would
does it
cry,
like me.
huh?
Layla does it too.
Yeah, my grandson, love that boy. I have two grandsons, Legend and Leyland, love them to death. But yeah, so she would cry, but it would not be loud. You were like hmm, and I told Shannon, I said, "Sam, what is wrong? Is she okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, baby, I think that's how she cries." But then when she would really be scared about something, she'd open her mouth and she'd do that. But normally she would cry. She would basically silent cry. But anyway, so any other pet peeves you have, man? You seem to be on a roll.
Uh,
Is that it?
when you make a corny joke, I don't like it when you hit me.
First of all, my what? Because I want to make sure y'all got it. What's the problem? What's the problem?
No, because it'll be like a 10 seconds of air of like silence, and then you'll be like, I'm like, no, that's corny.
That's
That's
not corny.
very corny.
My jokes be hitting. Y'all doesn't recognize talent, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all right. So okay, pet peeves. You got that. We already kind of talked about college life a little bit, right? I mean,
Mhm.
did you what is college life like for you as a Christian? I mean, yeah, you're going to Lone Star. You had to turn in a term paper, and you want
Yeah.
to tell the people what the term paper was about a little bit.
It was about, should transgender women be banned from competing in women's sports? And I, of course, said yes. I had to give a 5-page essay about it, provide information, and sources. Now, the only thing about it is it's an argumentative paper, so it has to come from a standpoint of like from something from your opinion, and it has to also have like a rebuttal, so like something that someone will agree with. So, oh yeah, 5 pages. It wasn't bad. Trust me. When you have like a lot of information and you know what you're writing about, it really just like breezes through. But yeah, I turned it in. It was due on Monday. Yeah, I turned it in, and she's still grading it. But I think that was like one of the best papers I did. She said I'm one of her best students, so I think I'm good. But what else? Yeah, so that paper, that one wasn't really me having to bring in my beliefs. It was more so, I think the first paper I did that with, I think it was when she was like a get to know me paper. So she wants to know everything like about me, and yes, I can do that for you. But I take money. I don't do Skittles. I don't really like Skittles that much. But yeah, so she wanted to know like everything about me, so I said like I'm a Christian. Oh, one paper what it was is what do you look for in a future mate, or like why is it so hard to find a mate in modern time? And so I had to give up like list of reasons why and how and stuff like that. And I said because morals and standards and stuff like that. So of course I incorporated my beliefs with the paper. So
Okay. Let's talk about me for a second.
we always talk about you.
Yeah, I know, behind my back and everything. Yeah, y'all sure do. Yep, y'all sure do. Yep. Do you believe I am protective or overprotective? Why or why not?
I think you're overprotective, but like this makes sense. You're overprotective, but like in a Christianity sense.
In a
That's
Christianity,
my sense.
did y'all hear that? In a Christian, what is a Christianity sense? What does that mean?
Okay.
Yeah, break that one
Okay.
down, please.
So like if someone were to be like, "Oh, what's your dad like?" or whatever, I'll be like, "Oh, he's you seem like your dad's protective." I'm like, "Yeah, he's protective." Like, what are some things he won't let you do? Literally, it's the little stuff. Like a guy will ask me, "Hey, you want to go get something to eat?" I'll be like, "Who's coming with?" They're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I can't go with you by myself." They're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I'm not allowed to go with guys by myself." And they're like, "Aren't you grown?" I'm like, "You're correct, but I also have a father who will kill me." So they're like, "But he's not here." I'm like, "Yes, but I know." So therefore, I can't do that. And so it's like no one really believes like I have a conscience or anything. So it's like if they don't know or if y'all don't know, what will it hurt? But it's like at the end of the day, I know what happened and I'm gonna feel guilty about it. Then I'm gonna have to say it. And I always know I can't keep a secret, especially if it's about me. I'm bound to tell someone. So yeah. When it comes to like hanging out with a guy by yourself, when it comes to going out at night, you don't like it when we do that. Even if we say we'll be right back, you want to know where we're going. Um, yeah, it's like little stuff.
Mm-hmm. And like Slave of Christ said, he said, if a guy responds like that, Nyla, run. Shows no respect for your father.
I know. I'm waiting for that one dude to be like, I want to take you out, and then they want to be like, oh, I'll check with your father first. No one's ever gonna do that. I feel like I have to like, if I had to lead you there, then that's not. It's too much work. I don't feel like
Now
doing
there's
it.
somebody out there you just have to wait. You just have
Yeah,
to
I
wait.
know.
I
It's
mean,
a
and it's
waiting game, isn't it?
yeah, and actually all of us are in the waiting period. I mean, our family is definitely in a holding pattern with a lot of things. Your mother and I are, y'all are. We appreciate, you and your sisters being patient with us because, we know God is doing some things in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I agree with Be Great BME said, he said, do not rush. He said,
Mm-hmm.
do not rush because I'm telling you, I did a sermon on when we refuse to wait on God. And that's one of the worst things we can ever do is try to push God's hand. And because sometimes he'll give us what we want and it's really the consequences because we didn't wait. And so, but I do know that, waiting and being patient, is one of the byproducts of the spirit, patience is. And so, again, that's why I believe that, conversations like these are important because it helps your generation and it also helps our generation because, we still look back on our lives and we want to teach people to, learn on what not to do as well. So, I think Slave of Christ said, he says, speaking of which, Seiko, what is your opinion on Marcus Houston in the age gap with his wife? Say if they are both were Christians. I saw a little bit of that. What was up with Marcus Houston? What was how old was his wife?
19.
His wife is 19 and he's what, like 40 or something?
Is he 30 something? He's
30.
30 something.
So about 12 year difference, something like that. 19. So the girl is 19 and he's probably what, 30? Yeah.
Yeah, he said they never had like talk to each other until she was of age, according to him.
No, I wouldn't do that. Nope. I mean, first of all, if you got to wait for a 19-year-old, then I mean, what would you have in common? What he's 40, and that's 21. Man, boy, if you don't get out of here, please get out of here.
Yeah.
You ought to be her dang on uncle. What the heck you talking about? But anyway, so no, I mean, it's that's no, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. But I think that's where the covering comes in and the authority, because again, if you trust your parents' judgment, then it would be helpful. It's not that we know everything. That's not it. But we've been on this planet long enough. We're much more longer in the tooth than you all are. And age should count for some kind of experience. And that's why, there's a difference between the younger and the older, because of the experience that we do have. But so let's talk about this. We are spiritual vagabonds. Your mother and I, we just basically just come to the realization and come to grips with that. What is your outlook on Christianity? Do you think things are getting better in Christianity or worse? And why?
Definitely worse.
Okay. Why? Why do you think things are getting worse?
Because everything's up for debate now. Like, is tongues biblical, or having apostles, is having apostles in the church biblical? Like,
Women preachers, women pastors.
Tithing, everything.
Didn't you have a friend? Didn't you have a friend that whose pastor was a woman? Was that you?
Mm-hmm.
And how did that conversation go?
I mean, it was kind of like we laughed about it, but at the same time, they knew that I was serious. Like, they were like, "Really? You don't believe in women preachers?" I was like, "No, not really." Because I asked a question. I was like, "How can a woman lead a man?" And they couldn't answer it for me. They're like, "Oh, touche." I was like,
"Wow,
so
wow, wow."
And that's another thing that is so annoying. All this stuff you have to think about when it comes to dating someone. You have to think about political views. You have to think about their background in the church. All this stuff. You have to ask all these questions. There is just no right answer. Oh, I like you, you like me, let's date. You have to ask all these background questions. And then if they have one wrong answer that is a non-negotiable, then you got to kick them to the curb. That's why I said arranged marriage may not be such a bad idea.
Now you're the only one that cares for that doesn't disagree or doesn't contest that type of relationship, that type of setup. Your sisters don't. Yeah. Your sisters don't care for your sisters don't care for it, but you don't have a problem with it.
Well, because I say I don't have a problem with it because one, their desire is different from mine. My desire is to be a mother and a wife at the end of the day. Having a nursing job is great, but if I can be a wife and a mother, that's something I really want to do. I know it comes to a shock to some people, but I really seeing how mom was with like us and even with Janisha and stuff like that, I realized that's something I want to do. I want to be a mother, like bearing a child, raising them with your husband, loving them, stuff like that. I want to be a mother and a wife. So that's why I'm not against it, because I know that's my end goal.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about this. Our church experience. We have not been able to.
Hold on, Daddy. Michelle, me first. They gotta find mine first, okay?
So our church situation has not been favorable. We thought we were at a good place, and matter of fact, I'll just ask you: were you looking forward to going to church when we were attending Impact?
Yeah.
Why?
Cause
what did you like about Impact Church? What did you care? I mean, what was that kind of like was the draw for you?
The worship, of course, just like being at the time when it was allowed, just being moved by like the Holy Spirit and stuff. And I could I said I was saved when I was 7 years old, but I didn't actually start like taking my walk with Christ seriously until I was like 13. So during that period to where I am now, that's like 6 years going on, almost 7. I'm at the point where I'm not afraid to like have my hands up. I'm not afraid to like, um, you know, being, vulnerable in front of someone and just praise him no matter who's watching. So for me, that's one thing I was looking forward to. I mean, the sermons were good, but Mara said something to me that resonated with me. She said after a couple weeks, like it was before we ended up like stopped going there. She said the sermon started getting a little bit more dry, or like a little bit more like coastal or whatever, like more cruising or whatever. And I was like, huh, you're right. Because like before, it was just like it was awesome. Like, I always loved going there, even when they had like the guest speakers on and stuff like that. Like that was awesome. But then when it got down to like the last bit, when we started like noticing a little stuff, that's when I was like, oh no.
So what so now let's just talk about, because I know the word on the wood streets was that it's always daddy's too hard. He's too too judgmental when it comes to finding a church. Like, dang, dad, we're not gonna always find a perfect church. I mean, what is it that what are you looking for? Y'all be very frustrated with me because we would go somewhere, think that it was legit, think that it was on point, get ready to join, and what would happen? Who would be the one tripping? Tell me. Go ahead. Who? For the record, who would be the one that would be tripping and say, you know what? Okay, me or the preachers?
It was the preachers or the church as a whole. But yeah,
the leadership, right? Do you recall? Can you recall what was some of the significant things that caused us to leave certain churches? Because some people may not know. So what are your non-negotiables? For you as a young lady. Hopefully, as you see what I did and what I do and what I look for in the church. But what were some of the things that you knew that y'all just knew? Oh yeah, we out. I already knew this thing. We ain't gonna be here long. What were some of those things, if you can recall?
First one I can remember was about repentance. The way that we've been brought up, it's not all hyper grace or whatever. It's always, there has to be a confession. You have to acknowledge what you did, repentance, that part of like, doing your best to not make that same sin happen again. So it's like at the time when the church differed on how to handle those certain issues, I was like, I remember I told Myra, I was like, this is not gonna go over well.
So you knew that? You knew that?
Yeah, because like even though it was another situation that happened with us, I was like, this ties into how they are as a church, because I was like, you can't shepherd like a flock like that if that's like your foundation when it comes to repentance, and when it comes to, especially if someone sins against you and you don't have to repent, or you don't have to like apologize or whatever like that, like that's not cool. Like you just want to be like let bygones be bygones and just let it go. That's not how it works. And so that was one thing. And then second one was the pastor saying you can basically have a free meal ticket to do whatever you want, regardless if you're a Christian or not. And I remember the analogy he used, which was so stupid.
You remember it?
Yes, I remember it. I remember he said a 12-year-old boy got saved.
Yeah.
And they were an adult. And they became an atheist afterwards.
Yep.
And so he was talking about how that boy died. And I think he was asking like a rhetorical question or whatever. And he was like, do you believe that boy is still like in heaven? Went to heaven. And I was like, I mean, I would hope no, because unless he made it right. I was like, there's no way. Because if you're an atheist, it means you deny the existence of God.
Right.
And I remember my mouth, I don't remember if my mouth actually dropped or my head was about to explode when he said That's exactly what I'm saying. I was like, you're joking, right? I
Mhm.
was like, oh my gosh. And I remember me and Myra, we looked at each other, we were like, yeah, this is the last time we're coming here. And I'm surprised that we didn't actually storm out. And I'm like, the respectful thing, we actually let the dude finish. But I was like, no. Because that's literally like a heaven or hell issue. You think a person, if that's the case, then Jesus would never have died on the cross. That's stupid. And
Right.
so if you are saying that a person can have free reign to do whatever, that means any person can be a homosexual or turn to homosexual, still go to heaven. Anyone could still think being transgender is okay, so go to heaven. Like, it's all the stuff, and it's not about every sin is different. No, a sin is a sin. And so I'm like, at the end of the day, when he was said that, I was like, what made you say that? And
Yeah.
like, where are you getting? And I think the thing is that he went to,
He was in Ephesians too.
yeah,
He was in
and
Ephesians too. One of my favorite texts. And y'all should have been proud of your dad. Y'all should have been proud of me. Listen, I'll pat my own self in the back on this one because man, I think I purposely sat there because I wanted to hear everything he said. Because when I wrote him back, he tried to question my credentials. I got the
yeah,
email. His name
that
is
made
Bob. As a matter of fact, his name is Bob Reed from Side Life Church here in Cypress, Texas. If you go to that church, you don't need to go there anymore because, in other words, they teach antinomianism. That's what it's called, antinomianism. Anti means against, noma means law. And they're against the law of God. They believe he preaches and teaches that you can basically sin, do whatever you want, and still make it happen. He said that in the sermon. Matter of fact, y'all saw some of the clips I had put up there before a few weeks ago about that. But yeah, so that was I guess for me now, that's good that you all at least know what, as your father, I won't tolerate, because again, I wouldn't want to allow you all to sit under that kind of thing and believe or think that that's okay, because now I'm setting a precedent for you all to take that type of mentality, that type of theology, that type of belief into relationships with other people, and then you settle for some joker that his beliefs is worse than the guys that you may have already heard. So that was one. What about any other churches, any other beliefs that we may have that you may have heard? You're like, yep, we out. I already know this is going to be pretty much peace out
I
as well
mean,
too.
besides impact with the whole frat fraternity and like the sorority thing, that
Yeah.
was really it. Now, like, I know we talked about it like a little bit in the past about like how it is with fraternities and how they're like demonic and stuff. I still haven't finished it, but I remember when you sent me Pastor Fred's
Fred Price Jr. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to it while I was at school secretly. I had it in my ear and I was listening to it, and I remember he put up the sign for like he put up these images and he was talking about like Star Trek and stuff like that. I was like, oh my gosh, really? That all makes sense now. And so it was interesting because I was like, I didn't know that all this stuff was um resonated or like came from that. And I was like, okay. But besides that one, that, I mean, the only three churches I can remember are those. Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was like the last one that we went to, and now we're back to the church we left to go to back,
Yeah.
which wasn't bad. Like, it's
It's
not
not
bad.
bad. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a bad one, like you said. It's just we were just looking for more. I mean, we wanted to have kind of like
The
worship
one
that
we're
we
at
could.
now, it's like a placeholder, and it's fine, but it's
Yeah.
just like, I know like you have to be surrounded by saints and stuff, because like when you're not charged or whatever, like your battery drains and it dies. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
when we're in the house and we're not actually like with other believers, I kind of feel like the ripple effect of what happens when it's not the same. But there's nothing wrong with the church right now. It's just more so like it's just different, because
Yeah.
I
It
was looking for
is.
something,
Yeah.
thought I
It
found it.
is. They're very hospitable. I mean, they're not standoffish or nothing like that. I mean, the preacher, he's not dry.
No, he's not dry. Thank
He's
God.
very exactly. He's very expressive, and so we were just looking for something different. But at least we thank God that we were able to go back to a place and just to attend. So we have not joined any fellowship. We were in the process of joining
Mm-hmm.
Impact until they did the whole sorority and fraternity thing and parading that around, and then come to find out they had a Reformed Jew who supports the LGBT. Their church, married their first quote unquote, sodomite couple. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, it was just very disappointing to say the least. And other families had been affected by that as well too. So we weren't the only ones. So let me ask you this question now. What's next for Nyla? What's next for you? What are your plans, Lord willing? What are some things that you want the Lord that you've been asking for the Lord to do for you? I mean, you know, in your life. I know disappointments aside and things of that nature, but you know, you still pray. You still, you know, are asking for the Lord to do some things in your life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some
Like,
things that you got going on? What's next for you?
of course, like I would like to graduate early, like, or still like be within my same class in 2026. So I want to finish up Lone Star like a little bit early. Um, I was talking to Michelle about this last night, I believe. Um, about I'm wanting or I'm praying that God will allow me to be content in the season that I am, as far as like waiting for um a husband and not just settling for like the bare minimum. um I know the desire was placed on my heart for a reason, and I know with everything going on in my life right now, having a guy to occupy me or whatever wouldn't really be um what's the word what's the word it's not very reasonable right now. Like, it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be logical.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm praying that I still want this desire to still be fulfilled, but I feel like for right now, I'm praying that it would just be placed on the back burner for right now, not just be at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm praying that everything with our family like gets situated.
Yeah.
Um, of
Got a
course,
lot.
like, yeah, of course, like with school and, you know, even with Myra, like getting her car, I know that's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
um I want to make sure that like I'm not a burden, and I want to make sure I'm doing everything that I can to help the family any way I can, physically or financially
Yeah.
possible.
Well, I could tell you this for the record. You know, I appreciate everything you and your sister is doing. And I think that's one of the things that we strive and we've always pushed as a family is that we take care of each other as much as possible. I mean, we can only do what we can do. That's the first thing, right? So if you can't do something, you just can't do it. And there should be nobody to make you feel, you know, guilty if you're not able to do something. But we have this other belief as a family that when the Bible says in Ecclesiastes that two are better than one because you have a reward for their labor. So when you are able to come alongside and support, you know, your family and others as well, it just makes the burden less to be bared. And so that's one of the blessings that I'm thankful to the Lord for. And because also at the same time, the Lord in His sovereignty and His providence has allowed you all to be able to help support and help, you know, come alongside the family and, you know, and I mean, working for yourself, making your own money, you know, that's been a huge, you know, blessing for us because now you're able to, you know, take care of some things for yourself and learn
Mhm.
responsibility and learn what it means to conserve and also like you mentioned about, you know, now you see life in a different way, that policies matter, politics matter, you know, who you put in office or who you support, you know, if you decide to vote, all those things mean something because it affects you as well too. So, you know,
Mhm.
those things are important. And so, you know, I'm just grateful that the Lord has have you all in my life. You know, of course, I'm gonna do everything I can, your mother and I both, to make sure you all have the best as the Lord will provide. But at the end of the day, we know that we live by faith and not by sight, and it's a blessing to be able to have a family, and all of y'all are healthy. There's nobody that's, you know, dealing with any type of, you know, physical maladies or issues and things like that. You know, and every time I come home, well, I'm home now, but if anytime I would leave for a moment and come back, I just look at my house, you know, because there's a lot of things I don't deserve, and one is salvation. I don't deserve. There's nothing that I did to be saved. There's nothing that you did to be saved. Nothing that none of us did to be saved. but God in His mercy chose to save us, and that's enough right then and there of itself. Of course, it takes money to do ministry. It takes money to exist here on this earth, but it's nothing like family. And then if you have the favor of God, then that beats anything that you would have in your pocket, because if God gives you favor, then everything else falls into place. And so I'm grateful to the Lord, for that, and for my sons and my daughters, and those who have come alongside our family and support us as well too. Mr. Proverbs said this. Now he says, "How hard is it not to respond to those that attack your father?" Wow.
It is so hard. Oh my gosh. Literally last week I asked him for permission to just say one thing. It wasn't even disrespectful. It wasn't. I just wanted to say something, and I said, "Can I say it?"
It's not gonna be something you gotta repent for, is it?
No.
Okay,
I
well, go ahead.
texted you what it was.
You gotta mention the name. Don't mention the name. You gotta mention the name, but you can say what you got to say. Go ahead.
It's what you call them.
What do I call people? Now I'm kind of nervous. What I call?
No, it's what you call the people who came against you.
The mob?
Yes.
Okay.
I said, oh, if it isn't the mob. I said, can I say that? And he's like, absolutely not. I'm like, how is that disrespectful?
I thought she was gonna say something else. I'm sorry. I thought it was something else she was gonna say. I'm sorry. My fault.
I really wanted to say that. Like,
okay.
I wanted to direct it towards those individuals in that chat. I was like, well, looky here, if it isn't the mob. Like, literally, it's so hard, because I know that my dad is a grown man. I know that. But it's also like, and I've never said this, but like anything that happens to him, it affects me too, even though I don't show it. It's just when I see stuff that happens towards him, even if it's online or whatever, because y'all all got your internet bullies or whatever, that's fine. But it's like when I see it directed at him, or even towards my mom or whoever, I take that personally.
Yeah. There was a recent situation that just occurred before we got on this live. I just got off the phone with a young lady, sister. I'll go ahead and mention the name, because she just did a video about me saying that I threatened her. Didn't threaten her at all. Got the receipt to prove it.
I want to see her.
Sorry? What?
I want to see her.
When you say you want to see her, what do you mean you want to see her?
Not like that, Daddy.
Okay, well, that's what we got to clarify. We got to clarify these internet streets. We ain't trying to see nobody. Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So she did a video. Miss Furlow Speaks is her name, and she's been making videos about me, and went on video and said that I called John MacArthur a pedophile, a pedo, and I never said that. And so I wasn't gonna let that ride, and so I inboxed her, because somebody had texted me, or somebody had tagged me rather, and I'm like, well, what does this woman want now? And she getting at me because I don't talk about Larry Reed. Well, Larry Reed is not in my focal point. He's nothing to me. He's a non-factor to me. That's low-hanging fruit. I don't care nothing about these people. My focus at the time and right now is just dealing with John MacArthur and the influence and the damage that he's been doing in the body of Christ with women and children, right? By protecting pedophiles and wife beaters and stuff. And so, yeah, Larry Reed is awful. I mean, but like I said, I was saying, for me, that's not my circle. It's just not. I mean, I was on his broadcast a couple of years ago dealing with G. Craig Lewis, and that was the only reason I hadn't spoken to that man in a couple of years now. And so whatever he's doing, I don't care. It's a lot of people that's out here in the charismatic community that I don't really focus my attention on, because that's not my issue. That's not my mission. And so she did a whole video talking about, well, how come he don't talk about Larry Reed? He was on Larry Reed's program. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. And so I called her and I had to check her. I said, you got until Sunday to make this right, or else my representatives, you'll be hearing from them. Don't be threatening me. You don't threaten. I said, I'm not threatening you. I said, Ma, I don't threat. I don't throw threats. I don't make threats. Trust and believe. I'm not making no threats at all. I said, you got until Sunday to deal with this issue. I said, you made accusations and slanderous accusations against me and my ministry and my character. I said, I'm not putting up with that. I'm not putting up with that at all. And so she said, well, it sounded like you were saying that MacArthur. I said, no, sounded like and what I said are two different things. I said, now you sound like a fool. I said, you sound like a straight up fool. Proverbs 18:13. I said, you making statements and you don't want to know the facts. She said, well, what did MacArthur do? What did MacArthur do? I said, if you have to ask me what he did, And then you making videos. I said, that clearly shows that you don't know what you're talking about and you haven't done your research. I said, but you got until Sunday. I said, you got until Sunday to make this right. I said, because if not, I said, you will be hearing from don't be trying to throw no alternatives. I said, look, ma'am, let me tell you something. I'm not throwing anything. I'm telling you right now, you will be hearing from my representatives if you don't handle this situation and retract them statements that you made about me on your channel. And I mean, every word I said, I wasn't playing with her. And so suppose she did some video today talking about SaikoWoods threats. And I'm like, okay.
She's still live, Daddy. She can't even spell your name right.
I know. But that's okay. But anyway, so to answer your question, what Mr. Proverbs is talking about, you deal with these kind of stuff all the time. I pick and choose my battles depending on, what it is and what it may be. Because again, you have this social media age today where people can put stuff out about you. And if you're not careful, you have a whole bunch of stuff out there and you can't even begin to respond to all of this stuff. So for me, people can handle it how they want to handle it. But if I believe or if I feel I need to respond to something or someone, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be just like that. Because I take serious what God has called me to do. And so I know that this social media age and these internet streets show no love for people when lies are being thrown. And not everybody's a Berean. Not everybody has discernment. And so you see these kind of things go down and then it goes unchecked and untouched. And then there lies the problem. So, but anyway, one more question, ma'am. One more question. I think I saw the comment. Was it up here? Let's see.
Oh, yes. Any more questions? Y'all can ask me freely.
Yes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and put them in the chat. If I can see them before we wrap it up. Okay. So, any words of encouragement? Any final words of encouragement? Nyla, that you would have for maybe your audience who may be watching, or for people who are who may be in need of a word. I mean, what would you say? I mean, especially now in this day and time, we see what goes on, the evil in our world, wicked, corrupt leadership. The church is basically the visible church, that is. The invisible church is still going strong by God's grace. But if you had to, for the next few moments, if you had to just give some people some words of encouragement or words of wisdom, exhortation, even warning. I mean, God's allowed you to see what you see now in this world, not for the reason for you to keep it to yourself, but maybe for hopefully to help other people as well, especially in your generation. Somebody said Jesus loves has a question. I'll get to it in just a minute. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead now.
I would say just be in your word, like always, no matter how busy your life may get. I feel like it's always important to stay grounded. I feel like there's times, especially like in my life, where I will fail to even pick up my Bible for like a moment. And even if I just read it on my phone, I still feel like I need to actually have it physically like in front of me, like the paper itself, because there's nothing that I want more than to actually like have a deeper knowledge and understanding of the word. I want to say no matter what, even though like if no one ever until like it comes about or whatever, I want to say I make sure that you stand your ground and know like your morals and stuff. And the difference between what's sin and what isn't, like people's preference and other people's like facts and preferences. Because I know the stuff that happened with me last year of like Chick-fil-A or whatever, that was partial to it because everyone was always focused about everyone's opinion instead of listening to like the facts. And I don't know. I think that's it.
Okay. Well, someone had asked the question, and I'll populate it here.
I saw like 3 questions.
Huh?
I saw like 3 questions.
Yeah. So Jesus loves you. He asked. He said, "Do you plan on getting a concealed carry permit and handgun when you turn 21?" Well, Texas now is an open carry, so She doesn't have it, but she's gone to the gun range. Matter of fact, how did you like going to the gun range? You know, for the, I think this is our second, third time.
I liked it. I think it was for my 17th birthday. I think I went.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I took pictures and everything. I took videos. I always take videos of them going too. So what did you think about the pistol grip?
It was nice. Now the shotgun, that one has some kick to it. Like
yeah, that's the pistol grip.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's a pistol grip pump. It was a pistol grip pump. I keep it on my lap at all times.
Some kick to it because I was not expecting that, but my hands were like shaking. I remember when I saw the video. I think I posted it. When I first held mom's what was it, like a 9mm or something? What is it?
Yeah, she got a 9. Yeah, she has a 9 too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I first held it and I shot first. I think I hit the head, but I got shaky at first, and I remember I put the gun down and I was like trying to like breathe. And I remember Myra was telling me, she's like, just breathe. Okay. So I did it and I just kept firing and I was like, oh, this ain't cool. But if I were like to carry one, not really. Maybe some pepper spray. But like,
I'm gonna get you a gun. I'm get you a gun.
If my man has a gun, I'm good. Like, I don't mind guns. I love them. I respect them. But like, me personally, I don't really. I'm me, you know. If y'all know me, I'm Nyla, you know. I don't.
we gonna make sure she's protected. We're gonna make sure she's protected and keep her protected. You're gonna learn how to shoot and continue to learn how to shoot, rather. But just in case, you know, making sure that you're always protected and covered. Someone else had another question.
Yeah, I see it.
Raymond, just real briefly, you can answer that question again now because you had already answered, but I think Raymond may have came in at the last minute.
Yeah, it's not bad. It has its like ups and downs, but like I just learned that I'm always going to be in the public eye, and I try my very best to remind myself of who I am representing. Okay, for real, Proverbs. Okay, cool.
Oh my goodness, and he ain't playing either.
But yeah, it just has its ups and downs, but like I feel like I don't mind it as much as I did like when I was little. But like if anything, I just know like everyone's always gonna be watching me no matter what. So it's just a matter of presenting myself in a way that's bringing glory and honor.
Yeah. And then I think Nikki said that she has a serious question for me. Okay, what's your question, Nikki? What's your question? I have a serious question for you, Seiko. What's the question? I didn't see anybody else.
I like these questions. These are fun. Any more questions, people?
I just switched before. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, at the range. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. Nikki, if you have a question, go ahead and you can post it in the chat, and I'll try to populate it. But anyway, those who are just joining us, we about to wrap up. But this is my second oldest daughter, Nyla, and she has no problem coming on camera to. She kind of like speaks for the rest of her siblings and sisters. So, but yeah, we were talking about her life, talking about our family, things that's been going on in our world, and things of that nature. So it's been a very 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 insightful discussion. You said, do you think when a pastor commits adultery should the church know? Yes. Because I mean, how else would they? I mean, because things can always come back and it'd be a problem. So yes, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Next time y'all shoot me, get mine. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, your favorite color? What was it? I ain't just said now. What was it? Pink.
Oh, David asked what my favorite color is. It's pink.
Yeah, pink. I wasn't doing no pink background, y'all. I was like, this is my live. I can't. Nope. Can't do no pink. I gave her closest purple, and she said she can work with that. So. But anyway, I think that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't want to take too much of everyone's time. I do think. Let me see. Yeah. Well, I think you need to take it to the church if he's under church leadership. Absolutely.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's that's our time, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I just wanted to thank those of you for joining. 505 people are watching live right now. 54 watching on YouTube, and 55 likes. Wow, interesting. That's a first. 55
Right.
likes and 54 watching on YouTube. That is a first. I'll take that. I will take that. Thank you very much, those who have been watching. We do appreciate that. Tomorrow, Lord willing, we'll be back tomorrow at 7:00. I'm going to respond. It looks like I'm going to have to respond to Miss Furlow. And also I'm going to make another reaction or response video on Friday, Lord willing, as well too. But anyway, I think that is it. Nyla, I think we're
That's
going
what
to
I said,
Oh,
Potters. That's what I said.
one more thing. I did forget about this. I got one more thing to show you now. I wanted to get your thoughts about this. I might as well just get it. Might as well just get your thoughts about it because it is a question I wanted to ask you as a young lady. So that way you can tell me.
Hold on. Mr. Zerix had a question. I want to answer this one.
Did your dad ever dislike a guy you wanted to date? And your thoughts. Okay, go ahead.
Not really wanted to date. More so when he found out the age of the guy, he was like, "Oh heck no." So yeah. Yes, I put sugar on my grits, but it's rare that I eat them.
You what?
I'm reading these comments are coming.
Okay, I'm getting them late. Oh yeah. Do you like? She's another pitiful soul. She's another pitiful soul. Pray for her as well too. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead. What'd you say?
The age it was, Mr. Zerix, was 25.
Yeah, heck no. Nope. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to stay safe while y'all playing. But no, let me. I almost forgot to show this one to you. But I wanted to put this up here and get your reaction because I don't think anybody ever heard your vocal reaction to this statement. So here we go.
Would you go to Grace Community Church if Eileen Gray was your daughter? Would I go to Grace Community Church? Well, see, that's why you can't answer a question because that would affect me personally. Now I've got some skin in the game. It's like the guy that jumped on my daughter or did something to violate my daughter. Could I sit on the bus right beside him? No. Could you? Yes. Why? See, what we do sometimes is we want to make the emotional argument, and then that governs. That would be hard for me. I mean, I look at my daughters as though they're gold. Now, do I look at your daughters the same way I look at my daughter? No. There's 4 billion other daughters on the planet. I don't look at them the same way I look at mine.
Okay.
You're aware of the Eileen Gray situation, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. What is your thoughts? What are your response to Mr. Corey's statement?
With all due respect.
Yes. All due respect.
That is a cop-out statement.
And why is that?
Because the only reason why he's now responding like this, I believe, is because the mob is behind him. And that's not from something that you told me, nothing I've just noticed. Because even though I don't say anything publicly or whatever like that, I still watch and I observe. And even though y'all are my parents and y'all supposed to be protecting me and it's the other way around, whatever like that, I still am mindful and I watch who has y'all's back and who does not. And who's going to be writing for y'all, who doesn't. And so I'm watching the constant, like, this one, I can even see, like, how the statement got switched up. Like, he was all for it back last year or whatever. Mm-hmm. And this statement, oh, my daughter, that's not my daughter. I don't have any skin in the game. As a man and as a father, even if you aren't a father, as a man in general, if you know that someone is being abused in a church and you have all the facts, you know everything, you know what went on inside that church, regardless if you were there or not, you know what happened. And it was fact checked multiple times. And you still say, I don't have any skin in the game, that's not my daughter. That doesn't really sound like that's not really an answer. You're saying something without giving an answer because you don't want to make it seem like you're picking a side. It's a yes or no answer. Would you or would you not? It's not about if your daughter goes to church. It's about right or wrong. If it's a sin, then just say that. But if you're just thinking, oh, I don't want to offend nobody, it's not about offending anyone. It's about making a statement and standing for truth. And when you have the facts, when you have people who are being misrepresented, and that woman is now scarred, whatever. And I just think about the fact that you had the chance to answer that question open and honestly. You have more. He has more followers than you do, Dad, and that's just, that doesn't make sense, because the fact of the matter is you had the opportunity to actually make a statement and make it known that this man let this stuff happen in his church, and you should have said, no, I would not let my daughter go to this church. You could have just said, I would have taken her right out of there anyway, but he didn't even say any of that. It was just like, I don't have any skin in the game. If my daughter was there, then it'd be a different conversation. But since I'm not my daughter, I don't know what to say. Yours was point blank, period. If that was my daughter, I wouldn't let her go, or I would have done something about it.
Right.
So,
What would you sit under if Mr. Corey were your pastor and you heard him say that? How would you feel about that?
No,
I'm sorry?
no,
No, what?
I would not. I would not sit under that.
You would not what?
I would not sit under that. I would not sit
Oh.
under that teaching or preaching, whatever.
Wow. Well, I mean, that was one of the questions that I wanted to ask you about that. And of course, people will say that the response videos that I made were an attack against him. Do you take that as that? I mean, I know you're my daughter, so I'm not asking for you to be biased. I know people can try to accuse you of being that, but you can think for yourself by God's grace. But I would say, how did you watch the reaction videos that I made? You did. Do you think it was an attack? What about the video that me and Mr. Tarwin had? What were your thoughts about that?
I didn't have a problem with that one. If anything, it was very informative because Mr. Tarwin is a lawyer and he can know something from like a different standpoint. So I didn't see it as like an attack. I didn't see it as anything like, I didn't see it as it being personal. You're just doing what you do with anyone. I'm not saying like Mr. Corey is like a false teacher, nothing like that, but like you always sound the alarm when it comes to things that need to be raised for attention or like raised for awareness or whatever. And I feel like that statement that Mr. Corey made, it raised like a lot of red flags because you did a complete 180 when this stuff got brought up. At first you were on the fact that John MacArthur was insane, or the fact that this happened and he knew about it and he covered it up, and now you're about, oh, I don't think he should step down, stuff like that. So I just feel like it's not an attack on him. It's not something personal. You're just doing what God has called you to do.
Wow. So when people would say and try to accuse me of attacking him or doing something like this,
accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
it's not your fight, and they're not the ones doing it. God called you to do it. So I feel like anyone who has like an opinion about it, cam up or shut up.
Okay, I gotta give it to you. Here we go. There it is.
Like,
that's the challenge.
It's not that hard to do. Like, you can have your opinion about stuff, but you can have an opinion about something and not make it seem like, well, you should be doing it this way. You should be doing it. It's not yours. This is not something. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Like, unless this is something that God called you to do, then back off. And I say that with all seriousness because I am tired of hearing people texting you or people calling you, or even the comments that come up about Seiko, you should just let this go, or you shouldn't be thinking about this right now. Y'all should just come into agreement. It's not all on you. Mr. Corey had his part in this too, and he didn't say anything. And you coming up with clarification videos, that didn't clear up anything. If anything, it just caused up more questions because I was confused when I watched his reaction video or confirmation or whatever. Because I was like, you didn't answer anybody's question. So for me, it's kind of like it's you gotta have something coming back. And right now, it doesn't look like a good look for Mr. Corey because like for other people, they think okay, he's fine, he's entitled to change his mind, but it's not good when you're changing your mind and you have the facts, but yet you're still going for the opposing side when you know that this man did something wrong.
All right. Well, I think we've answered and shared our thoughts regarding this whole issue. I believe, and again, my heart and my attitude is not to where I'm trying to destroy anyone, anyone's reputation or character. If anything, I'm trying to make sure that people have the truth and make sure that we are able to make right decisions with the information that we are to receive, which is supposed to be of the truth. If Jesus saved us and told us to be sanctified in the truth because his word is truth, then we should be people of the truth. So that's where I stand with that. But Nana, thank you so much for your time. I know this will not be the last time we do a lot. And then maybe next time your older sister will join you and we can have another. I know we'll see. We'll pray about it. We'll see if she does, because I know she's not that type of person. She loves taking pictures though, but don't want to cam up. I don't get it. But anyway, but no, that's it. For those of you who have been blessed by this, feel free to send a word of encouragement to her. She's on Instagram, but that's basically it. Don't try to shoot no shots because we see her comments. Don't even play with me. Don't play. I will come see you. Put it like that. Yeah. But anyway, Nana, thank you so much, and I guess I'll see you once I get off the live upstairs and downstairs.
See you downstairs.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. So anyway, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the interview. Just wanted to have the Snoopy Knows herself on, and hope you all were blessed by it. Hopefully all of us and all your questions were answered, and you were encouraged by it as well too. So thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Please let us know what you think about this video. Please, if you don't mind, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. If you have not done so already, you can do that by just clicking that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Those who may be new to the channel, welcome, but please subscribe to it as well. We do appreciate that. And also, if you'd like to support the ministry financially, you can do so by clicking the donation links below, and also ticking across the screen is the information as well, the options that we recommend for those of you who like to support this ministry financially as well. We do thank you so much for that. BCV merchandise, you can do that by going to the BCV store, and you can support and purchase items from the BCV store there by clicking the merchandise information below at the bottom, and or you can see a ticket across the screen as well too. So, Lord willing, we will be back on tomorrow. I will probably respond to Miss. I probably will respond to Miss Furlow. I already have her clips already cocked and loaded, so I might as well just start busting on tomorrow around this time. I did have a conversation with her, and I may even play the conversation as well too. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. We do thank you so much. Yeah, I know she's live. Yeah, she sent me a message letting me know that she was live, and just pray for that young lady. Pray for her. I mean, her logic is definitely off like a Scud missile. But anyway, it's always somebody, y'all. It's always somebody. Y'all wonder why I respond. Y'all wonder why I keep doing the things that I do, because of people like this. But anyway, no love lost, no anger, no hate. Just got to do what God has called me to do and continue to glorify and honor him. But anyway, you guys have a great night. Have a great evening. Get you some rest. I know I will. Y'all know the drill. Whatever you do, do all to the glory and honor of God. God bless.
Thank you for sharing this night God bless you. Good night.